Hello and welcome to Let Pour Racing, the Praga World Tour, Round 7 at Mandalika Circuit, Indonesia's premier racing circuit hosting MotoGP, built specifically for MotoGP. So how would it handle our Praga Cups? No one will know. I'm your host Mateusz Mai, and welcome back after a week of break where I went on a little bit of holiday, and it seems like since I was gone, there's been quite a lot of interesting race. Shame there was nobody to be able to broadcast it for you, but I think you would have certainly enjoyed it. So, we're back. 4 more rounds to go. We've already had 6 rounds. By God, how has the time flown in this championship? We are more than halfway on round 7 already. And, well, the championship standings certainly will reflect reflected. So far out there we have 17 drivers, and speaking of the championship standings, last round one of the title contenders has missed out the round, so the championship standings look a little bit more skewed than one would think, with Victor leading by almost 50 points, but again, drop rounds do come into effect. There's 2 of them, and we might come out with championship standings that have drop rounds in, but so far, it's Johan Karolczak on the leading foot so far, with the only driver to reach into 133s around the Mandalika circuit, who's currently in the pits. Victor Bernard chasing and the hopeful first-time champion here at Letpo Racing. Advantage points-wise, again, we still don't know the situation factoring. Oh, we already have championship with drop rounds. Okay. Let me just quickly check that, because clearly I wasn't checking enough. Oh, with drop rounds, there we go. Fantastic. So far, indeed, we have Victor Bernard with only 18-point lead over his rival, Johan Karolczak, who is hopeful to overturn the gap. And is that with 2 drop rounds or 1 drop round? My faithful co-host. Okay, if it's the 2 drop rounds, then so far the championship standings is much closer than one can hope for, really. With the gap between Johan and Victor Bernard only 18 points, and the gap between Johan and Ike 17 points. So the championship can still turn on its head in this very moment. So it's going to be interesting how that go. And yeah, P3 to P4 with Juan and Ike, the 2 Ultra Team Automobilismo, is, if I get my math correct, 22 points, and then further down is much closer with Danny Tutui just 5 points behind Juan. In Teams Championship, it's even closer if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's only 30 points separating Cyanide Academy and Plus Ultra Team Automobilismo, who hold the advantage by 30 points. But then again, there's 2 drivers, and there's about 70-ish points on offer between the 2 drivers, give or take. So, championship standings. We have 5 more seconds left of the practice session, and soon we will go into qualifying, where, looking just from the practice times, it's going to look quite interesting. Quite a lot of drivers have not gone for a representative lap time. We had quite a few drivers not do a valid lap time. We should also know that this track has very stringent track limits, which A, could make our life a lot easier post-race, or B, infuriate drivers and make our job harder at the end. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see the drivers able to work within the track limits of the Mandalika circuit, or this version of the mod, which would explain why some drivers were not able to set a representative lap time. If I can conduct my live timings, indeed it does seem to be the case. A lot of drivers have had 8 laps, 5 laps of those that have not set a lap time yet. But let's see how the drivers will react within the qualifying session. Everything looking good. Also, audio check. How is the balance? Everyone here in the cars just fine? And myself on top. You can tell I've only just come back yesterday, or more or less just this week, for the stream. So yeah, also, fair warned, I might be a little bit less enthusiastic today. I am battling a mild migraine. Today I have this... There we go. This should be a little bit better. So there might be a little bit less enthusiasm from me, not because I've lost care, but I have a small migraine I'm trying to manage. So hopefully everything should be all good. Awesome, yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting dynamic, as I was earlier talking about the track limits of this track, as the track limits for Mandalika circuit, even though we've changed the modifiers already, what we would classify as legal track, lead pro racing is actually illegal by mod standard, which would invalidate the lap time for the drivers, forcing them to do another lap time or play a little bit safe. So the way the drivers approach the circuit and the corners will be different from race to quali, and for sure it will be interesting to see what that means, or how different the qualifying to the race results will be. So practice is over. We are now in the small breathing window for the drivers before we go into 10 minutes of qualifying, which should give drivers about 4 or 5 laps of well, racing laps if you include the out lap at most. So given the track limits, it's going to certainly be interesting to see how it pans out, especially if drivers have to return to pits midway through. Of course, Quanti. So, track limits. So, the track limits, as defined by Let Pro Racing's rules or the regulations, is the normal track circuit. Normal track circuit and the white line, as defined by vast majority of racing's series. Plus the curbs where the curbs are present. And this is mostly to not make it easier for the drivers, but mostly to allow closer racing, to open up the corners for side-by-side racing. Vast majority of our decisions that are made is for the enjoyment of the drivers and the raceability for the drivers. Yep. Good luck indeed, and such a little year, I believe, is the first driver out on track. Let's turn autocam off. And let's consult live timings. Indeed, Letelier will be the first one out of the pits, and we already have few drivers return to the pits, and give a little bit of a breathing room up ahead to have clean air to set the lap times. As we see, newcomer, we do have a newcomer, Alexander Giemble, for Mugen Up Garage, with a beautiful pink, super ultra soft version of Mugen Up Garage that have gone with the whole Pirelli set. I think they may have the entire Pirelli set now, but that whole gaggle of cars is certainly going to be interesting. Thank you. Thank you for the follower. Indeed, the turnout for the event, 17 drivers, is a little bit below what we're used to. However, a lot of drivers had a last-minute cancellation for one reason or another. It's still a wonderful, wonderful turnout for everybody out here. Let's move back to Letelier, as they start the first flying lap. So let's have a ride on board. Hard braking zone into a corner. There's a lot of braking zones in this track, so it should pose for very good overtaking. And track itself is quite wide into the first bus stop style chicane coming out. Very slow and technical section this one is. I have only put certain laps on, but the width of the track should allow drivers for flat out action throughout the second half of Sector 1, which we have just finished now. And we enter into the S's of Sector 2. Flat out through here. It's a wonderful experience going side to side through here. Might not be good for side-by-side racing, but if you can manage to get close out of the S's, that corner we just went through, great overtaking opportunity. Small dab on the brakes here as we enter into another right-left complex and inverted out here. You can very much tell that this track is designed around MotoGP racing with the layout of it. A lot of sharper corners and some awkward corners such as this one here. This is the most difficult corner to get right. Ooh, you have to brake while you're turning, so very, very difficult corner this one is, especially for drivers who are not used to trail braking. And we go into the final hairpin of the corner, completing the lap. A very technical sector. Well, say technical. The first part of the lap is very, very much straightforward, as Letelier sets a 1 minute 35.2 with Juan Gramash so far taking the pole position with 1:34.4. Now, as I said, pretty straightforward track, all things considered, except for that last complex of corners. That's going to separate the drivers from real drivers. That's Victor Bernard, just less than a tenth behind. Alexander Gembler, newcomer to the series, only 10th and a half in the first sector, behind on the pole position lap time. Let's follow along with him for a little bit, and let's see what they can muster. They're already dipping into 1:34s, which puts them very much in the mid-pack of the race. Oh, we have a spinner on the back. Let's have a quick see who that was. Not quick enough. I believe that was Talfidas. Oh, we're already not the best middle sector for Alexandra. Right, who is on a good lap time? Let's see what my personal favorite, and by that given a curse, everyone's my favorite. I want everyone to win. If I say I want everyone to win, everyone will have a curse. It could have been Danny. They have returned to the pits. But let's see if yes, Johan Karocek is indeed on a hot lap, even though ACTV does not recognize it. Let's ride aboard, setting the fastest first sector with a 31.4. So a tenth faster than anyone else out on track currently. Johan Karocek really trying to put a marker down. Halfway through the second sector. And now comes the real test. 28.0. Just less than a hundredth slower than Ike Maraver. Very well held by Johan Karolczak. Ever since Johan said he figured out how to brake in this car, he said he's very confident in the technical ability for the car, and you can see it really paying dividends. 33.9, first driver below the 34s, and so far still the only driver to get below 34s or get into 33s. Now I'll try to undo my curse. Somehow I'll do a voodoo dance. Victor Bernard sets a 1:34.539, personal best, but still only good enough for P4. And 3 laps remain if Victor is able to stay out throughout the whole of those 3 laps. So, who else do we have that's on a good... Sacha Letelier gets into 1:34s, a good respectable time. You can see in between P5 and P6, as Zanderschaft now goes 34.5, completely nullifying what I was going to say, but still you can see between P3 P5 just a tenth of a gap, and just 300s between P6 P7. Somewhere this track seems to really bring out the best in a lot of people, especially we had drivers like Anno, for example, saying that this track seems to really vibe with him in a way. And for some drivers, this seems to be a favorite of the season thus far. So we are waiting for four drivers to set the representative lap time. We have Michał Siedlecki, John, Ben Rushforth, and Liam Carr still yet to set their a little bit of a a bit of a spin and a tangle with Michał Siedlecki. Were any of them on a valid lap time? Danny Tutui was on a valid lap time. What about Siedlecki? Siedlecki was not on a valid lap time, so might be a little bit of a harsh words being said in the chat. But yeah, Siedlecki, John, Ben, and Liam still yet to set a representative lap time. As we see Mateusz Breitmeier with a 36.1. Setting a personal best middle sector, only 1.1 seconds down. If he can only lose half a second, he would put himself up quite nicely into top 11. So let's see what Mateusz can do. And Breitmeier puts a 36.202, a abysmal final sector, prevents him from setting a lap time as John goes into P12 with a 35.9. Hang on, but we have Johan Karolczak, let's turn autocam on, cooking quite a lap time. He's almost 2 tenths up in the first two sector. What can he do in the final sector? Apparently nothing, and I was lied to. Or he's just starting his lap time. No, unfortunately, Karolczak lost the perfect first and second sector in the last sector. So he was cooking. He was 2 tenths up, but unfortunately, just no bueno. Let's see. Oh, here we see. We have Victor Bernard starting his final flying lap. Johan Karolczak starting his final flying lap at only 100 faster. Ike Marve is in front or behind? In front of Johan Karolczak, sets the fastest middle sector. And Juan Gramage just coming across the line, still has time to do one more lap. Let's stay aboard with Ike Marve to see what he can do in the final sector of the track. Heavy on the brakes. Oh, not heavy on the brakes. This is the technical section. Let's see if he can keep it nice and clean. This is the critical turn. This is where you can lose a lot of time, as demonstrated by some of the previous runners. And, oh, he's not able to get into 33s, but goes 34.2. Johan Karolczak next to cross the line loses some time in the middle sector compared to his personal best. Can he make it up in the final sector? After this, we will go to his main title rival, Victor Bernard. What can Johan Karolczak cook? Johan Karolczak cooked the fastest last sector, but not enough to overturn the pole position. Victor Bernard seems to have lost half a second already. I don't think he will be improving much with his worse first and second sector. Juan Gramage, the final driver to be able to dislodge either his teammate or Johan from the pole position. And we got Danny Tutui with 35.1, not having the qualifying he had. Xander Scharf and Sacha Letellier, both with very good qualifying. I want to say it might be their personal best qualifying session. It will have to see how that will pan out in the race. As Juan Gramage goes and dislodges his teammate from second place, lining up alongside Johan with a 34.1. Anybody else that we have on a valid lap time? We have Quanti, where there they are, with 35.2, improves their personal lap time, and Mateusz Breitmeier next to cross the lap time, personal best first, second, and final sector, improving himself to P12, dislodging John from the final points paying position. Good lap time, Sacha. Good qualifying indeed. But we will have to see how this translates into race. As we saw, the track limits will be different. Drivers are free to ignore the track limits warning and race as defined by the regulation. So we get a little bit of a breather, so let's get 10 Autocam is already of Victor Bernard doing a little bit of a lawn mowing and excavating. We have Johan Karolczak on pole position, followed by Juan Gramash lining up P2. Close behind is Ikamara there with a 33.4 on row 2, and alongside row 2 in 4th place we have Victor Bernard, the main championship leader so far. It's a Spanish trio right next to each other, one beside each other. You have the entire Spanish armada. Xander Scharf comes first on the row 3 alongside Sacha Letelier, both their personal best for qualifying. The newcomer Alexander Gembler showing a very good lap time, beating out our household name, I should say, Danny Tutui, in row 4. Arno takes home P9, a good qualifying in front of Conti, who said that it's not their representative lap time, and I am tend to believe, given the track limits in quali. Tautfidas secures P11, a good point-paying position still, and excellent for the race too, with Mateusz Brickmeyer taking P12. John takes home P13 with Ben Rashworth P14, and we know how Ben often is in races. He does terrible in quali, but my god, he can pull something out of the bag in racing when he wants to. We have Edward Tapman with P15 and Liam Carr P16, with Michał Silecki unable to set a representative qualifying, so I hope that does not put him in front of me. Not for lack of trying though, Michał. 4 laps. And we will see. Yeah, John, how is John's? John's internet is. We will have to see. Ping is fine. We will see if that stabilizes during the race. We don't want a repeat of Bahrain, do we? Autocam. Thank you. So, 90 seconds to go, and that is the grid as goes. I just want to check something for my own personal curiosity. Nope, go good. Curiosity satisfied. So yeah, Johan Karolczak with an excellent opportunity here. With just got to stay ahead of his main championship rival to close the gap on Victor Bernard, and hope that Victor Bernard does indeed have a horrifying race. Not the furthest Victor has started from. I believe that would go to, what round was it? Istanbul Park, where Victor qualified in P6. I believe that is the worst qualifying position for the Spaniard and the championship leader. And indeed, we do have a few drivers on mediums. We have Alexandra and Tautfidas on mediums. Discount myself and Sarah. So we have the light board coming on. And let's see, does the mod even have lights on? It does. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And 5 lights on. And the lights go out and away they go. Johan Karolczak always suffers on starts. Not this time, however. This time he gets an excellent start. But Juan Gramash manages to get an even better start already alongside the French driver. Look how much gap they've already pulled. Both of them had an excellent start. Juan pulls out as to not cause anything. And further back down the grid we go Everyone managing to get by just fine. So far, so good between all the drivers. Weaving, Daki, look at how many drivers we still have. Only 17 drivers, but still. It's still going. We have somebody going off. We have 2 drivers going off into, I believe that might be John. A little bit lagging. So, unsure what's happening with John there. Very unfortunate, however, for the Italian driver. But so far, so good. I'm not sure, it's not the ping. The ping looks fine, but it looks like something else might be happening. We do have a little bit of bonking happening in the back, just rubbing is racing. But so far, Dani Tutui managing to get up to P4. What a start from the Romanian driver. Ike Marave losing out big time, and Victor Bernard managing to get up to P3. Xander Schaaf got shafted sorry for the pun, down to P8 with Arno promoting himself up to P7. And Ben Rashford, like I said, look at the driver up to P9 already from P14. Like I said, this guy really does know how to shift during races. So, as it goes, Juan Gramash is within slipstream. This is not close enough though to mount any sort of pack. Please, cameras, work with me for some good shots. Victor Berra now has the rear gunner for Dani Tutui to fend off the onslaught from Ike Marave. One of the drivers that might be able to take some valuable points from Victor Bernard. Let's not discount Ike's teammate Juan, who might be able to nick some more points off of Victor, and that is just precisely what Johan will be hoping for to help him within the championship battle. But so far so good with all the drivers. As we enter lap 2, and we have Juan getting real under the back of Johan there on the live timings. Whether it was a mistake or conservative driving from Johan or opportunistic driving from the Spaniard, that is something that we have unfortunately missed, as Ike Marave himself close to the Romanian driver. Let's ride on board with Ike Marave. Oh, into an awkward place. This is a very awkward place to pass, and unfortunately Ike runs wide through just a bit of a poor positioning. Oh, Johan runs very wide. This will not help his exit at all, as Juan sets the fastest lap time of the race and has big slipstream and is going to launch himself in down the inside of Johan. Not enough. Johan manages to outbrake him and keep in front of the Spaniard. Very good driving from the French driver. That practice on the brakes really seems to be paying dividend right here. But here we see Juan with another look down inside. No. This is very much a fast, flat-out section through the S's. One might say a death wish for side-by-side action. Ooh, just not enough. Victor Bernard gets real close. Ooh, just outside the track limits there for Victor. Dab on the brakes to get the car rotated in. And Linus there, 0.3, 0.4 seconds. And we already have 5 minutes of racing. Isn't the action just speeds up the time as it goes? And again, Ike Marave very much behind the action that is happening so far. That massive... Oh, and we have a spin! Victor touches on the grass and spins himself around. We have witnessed a very rare moment for Victor where he makes a mistake. Dani Tutui says the fastest lap time as his teammate makes a very rare mistake. I think that's the first mistake we have seen, or first mistake that we have caught live, Victor commit, and has plummeted him down the order. This could throw the championship up into the air. I said I wasn't gonna get excited, but my god, I don't care how hard my head is pounding. This is definitely something a development that will throw the championship up into the air. 14 minutes to go. It's not implausible. It's not implausible for Victor to come back and finish well within top 5. Could maybe make his way back onto the podium, but that would be a monumental effort as Victor switches down the inside, and it's almost as if Bernard just let him by. That was a very, very quick, decisive maneuver from Victor, and just made it look easy. Just made it look like Ben was just standing still. Back up to P8, and Victor manages to recover some more points. 14 minutes to go. 10 seconds to the championship leader. And it looks like the top 4 are spreading themselves out just a little bit. Johan seeming to be the class of the field so far. With the closest action on hand, we have the battle for the final points paying position. How is Indonesia? Hot, sweaty, my head is pounding, but by God do we have some excitement finally in terms of championship. Well, I'll say finally, we have excitement every single race. The championship is being thrown into the air as Tautvidas extends quite a bit into a different postcode. Closest battle on hand is for the reverse positions, the final point paying positions. Remember, P12 is reverse pole position, and yes, indeed, Dave, you would be yelling right about now. We had a very rare mistake from Victor Bernard that has plummeted himself from P3 down to P9. And right now we ride on board the sole Lithuanian representative for this round, Tautvidas, attempting or trying to master himself up the order. Tautvidas, one of the only 2 drivers to go for the medium. We have a great very, very wide from Tautvidas. Puts himself very poorly for the following up corner. That's going to cost him some lap time. But Tautvidas is one of the only 2 drivers that have opted for medium tyres, and as I've said, Mandalika seems to be quite harsh on the tyres, and some drivers have reported Juan says the fastest lap time so far. Really trying to chase Johan for the points. Johan might try to bounce back at some point and nick that 1 point that could be instrumental. But as I was saying, Mandalika for drivers have said has the worst tyre wear that they've seen since PGO. And PGO seem to have quite a lot of tyre wear, so we will definitely see if the play for the medium tyres will pay off, especially for the latter drivers. Oh, as we see Alexander getting passed by Tautvidas and getting passed again, back again, with an attempted switchback maneuver, most likely. But like I said, we will see whether the gamble on the medium tyres will pay off. We have one driver who had disconnected, unfortunately, due to utility saying that indeed they do hate a Mandalika. The power of 1,000 suns. As we see Sasha Letelier chasing, he managed to chase the I'll say Sasha Zander chasing for P5 onto the back of gearbox of Anno, who is running in the record for season. Oh, almost breaking on the track. That was a dangerous maneuver by Zander, but it may pay off as Zander slots himself on the inside of Anno. Anno going very wide, taking the apex though, managing to keep the position and shafting Anno back. But Anno is now with the very precarious bump draft for Anno onto the Sacha. Let's see if he makes a move down the inside. No, he won't. But Victor Bernard now onto the back of the battling Tetrac. How do you say for quadruped? Four-way battle for P5 commences, and like I said, Victor Bernard, I didn't say he was outside of the... Ooh, down the inside goes Victor Bernard. Anno does not seem to want to fight the fast-charging Spaniard. And I bet a certain French person would definitely love to see everyone in front of Victor battle him as hard as possible. It's 9.5 minutes remaining, and there's still plenty of developments that could come out of this. Oh, there's a half spin. Arno spins. Can he save it? No, he can't. So that's Arno out of the contention for the top 5 spot and leaving Victor open and relieving the pressure from trying to defend P7 while attacking at the same time. Yeah, Pavel was the chosen one and he chose to spin. Big lockout from Sacha. Xander goes deep and Victor slots in behind. A little bit of a door banging there. Both cars had rooms. Bit of a racing incident. Rubbing is racing after all. And Victor Bernard makes his way past Xander. And we are very much losing drivers left, right and center here. For one reason or another. And I believe it's lag related for one way or another. Xander Scharf very much now behind the battle for P5. Victor waiting patiently to make his move on Sacha. Ooh, that was a very opportunistic move. There wasn't much of a room left in the first place. As Victor sends it down the inside from 3 postcodes away and makes the stick, makes the apex and makes his way past Sacha, demoting them back to P6 and promoting himself to P5. I did say it's not out of the question for Victor Bernard to make his way into top 5. As Sacha now under pressure from Xander. Into the S's we go. Can Xander make a move down the inside like he did last time around? Oh, this is going to be awkward move around the outside. This is very much a straight line braking zone. Oh, Sacha makes a mistake and Xander's down the inside. Nice and tidy through there, but on the outside now, switchback maneuver is the only way to get past around the outside here, unless you have balls of steel. But we have Danny Tatui now on the back gearbox of Juan Gramage and Johan extending the lead a little bit. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle from the Romanian driver. And Xander made his way past Sacha, I believe it was into turn 1. Still fighting side by side and Sacha unfortunately losing out. But for how long? Sacha is coming back. We have 2 battles developing. We have a battle for the second step of the podium. And we have a battle for P6. Oh, bit of a wiggle from Danny Tatui. As Sacha now goes round the outside, Xander keeps to the inside. Can he make the move? Well, there. Can he move? Yes. Can he make the move stick? Not move the make. Okay. I think I need to take a little bit of a step back and get some water. Refreshing as down the inside goes Danny Tatui. Can he stick the move himself, or will Juan be able to fight it? Let's not forget, in terms of points wise, Danny and Juan are the closest on within the top 10 drivers, so they are battling for their own place in the championship. As you see, Victor Bernard just making his way across the start-finish line. And these two have had a little bit of history when it comes to getting into incidents with one another. Last round in Autopolis, it was Danny and Juan that have not had coming together, but have been on the receiving end in race 2 of bad luck, both scoring 0 points. And racing Magny-Cours, where they had quite a colossal coming together, and PGO, they had a few incidents with one another. As Juan now goes down the inside. Oh, Juan seems to be a little bit more aggressive when racing against Danny than he was racing against Johan. I don't think he wants to be the one that decides the title battle, but racing against somebody within his own points is a little bit more hands off, gloves off kind of deal, it seems. Half a second, and we see, Anno going very much deep. That will promote Quanti up to P9, or P10, sorry, and will let Tatvidas have a little bit of a sniff on the back of the other drivers. Anno goes by Quanti, not sure what happened there. And yes, that is correct. Plus Ultra and Cyanide are battling for the championship points. And so far, I think the points might be level, given how the point structure is. It's a very sad time. We did manage to lose 4 drivers, and I believe a few of them were due to connection. So very, very unfortunate, and it brings us sad news for... Yes, I know are 30 points ahead, but I believe so far, if the results stay as they are, the points gained are basically equal. So I think that's what's going to be. As Alexander Gembler on the back of Ben R. Ben R qualified 14th and finishes P8. He is a real mover when it comes to these races. He actually might be a contender for the most overtakes done in the season, or the most positions gained in the season. Because every single time I see Ben R outside of top 10, top 12, he's up there in with a massive amount of points gained, places gained. So Venner, definitely a driver of contention for the most overtakes done. Well, certainly somebody who's never bored during race, it seems. Let's switch back to the battle for the podium places. Juan Gramage with a slipstream down the main straight. Will he make the move? Into the braking zone we go. Ooh, not quite. Danny just makes. He's just able to outbrake Juan a little bit. Would have served Juan a little bit better to move a bit more onto the racing line. But alas, he did not, and lost about 2 tenths into that first corner with that very compromised racing line. And that's a skill that a driver has to possess, whether has to possess whether to know when to go for a move. A famous racing driver, I cannot remember which driver said it, is don't go for half moves. Half moves cost you time. It's sometimes better to tuck yourself behind. And wait for a better opportunity than to lose 3-4 tenths from a half a move and compromising your line through a corner. So there we go, we have 1 minute remaining. Where are we on the racing line? Indeed, this will be the final lap. We are coming across the start-finish straight. Johan might be tempted to regain the fastest lap time. I believe the fastest lap time so far lays with the Spaniard Juan Gramage. Ooh, a bit of a lockup from both the drivers. Now, Victor Bernard seems to have lost a little bit of a lap time. Maybe there was a half a spin from the Spaniard, but he's definitely closer to Zander than he was earlier, but it is now final sending or opportunities for Juan and Danny. And as long as they don't crash each other out, I'm not sure the race leader will care who finishes ahead. His only desire is to make sure that his title rival finishes as many. Ooh, big of a wiggle, big lockup from Juan there. Losing himself time, might put himself out for the race as we enter the final sector of the race. There's only really one opportunity to overtake, and I wouldn't even call it an opportunity, into that very much awkward final penultimate corner. So let's ride aboard and see what he does. Now he's way too far back. The only competition he has is from Ike Maraver. Oh, big lockup from Ike. Both wheels locking up, screaming for pain, trying to get himself as close, maybe at a final nudge to put himself into a podium place. But it is, the race belongs to Johan Karolczak, pole position and a race win, with Dani Tutui coming home P2, P3, P4 for the Plus Ultra Team Automobilismo. Victor Bernard recovers up to P5, a good recovery drive, one that he would have preferred not to have made. Zander takes home his best finishing position of 6th, and I believe Sacha as well, a wonderful 7th. Alexander Giembler debuts with a P8. A wonderful news, we have half a spin from Ben Rashford right at the end of the race. We have Ben Rashford just losing a few places. Tarfi that's really gaining from that. Anno P10, P11 for Quatia. Bernard. Who's going to take the final pole position? Is it going to be Breitmeyer? And I think Breitmeyer takes home the final oh my god, sorry, the final pole position, as Bernard is just shafted right at the end by little contact from Anno outside of the reverse position. And we have had 4 retirements so far in the name of Tatman Shidletsky and Liam Carr and John. And I am dying over here. Final corner, final race, awkward corner, and it completely jumbled up the final finishing position for the remaining 5 drivers. Thank you, love. And as a famous commentator once said, I think I have to stop because I think I have a lump in my throat. What a race that was. We had some very good, excellent, and not touch on wood, a great, exciting, clean racing so far. But by God, has the final finishing order been really jumbled up. Apparently there's a cat from Johan on the last lap. So, interesting. Cryptic messages. Indeed, very unfortunate that we have lost a few drivers. We have one returning. Welcome back, Liam Carr. And very sad as to what has happened to the remaining drivers. Internet connection is not something that we want to see or we want anyone to experience, as it's just not fair on the user. Things outside of their control. And well done, Quanti, for a reverse P8. So, as we wait for the next race 2 to happen, let's quickly just see what the drivers are saying. Ben R says he really can't with the track. Time for chaos, it says. Good battling. Oh, good. Yeah. Reverse grid pole. So, speaking of reverse grid pole, we have Mateusz Breitmeyer on reverse grid pole with Quanti in P2. Anno takes P3, Tadfidas P4, Alexander Giembler takes P5, P6 for Sacha Letelier, Xander Schaaf takes P7? P7, yeah, P8 for Victor Bernard, 9-10 for Plus Ultra Team Automobilismo, and 11-12 for Johan Karolczak. And let's hope, touch on wood, it's all going to go well. We have reduced amount of drivers for the, well, reverse grid. And the lowest attendance we had for a race. But regardless, we have still enough drivers to fill out the points paying positions, plus a couple more. And we have a mixed opinions in the chat. And when it comes to the track, some drivers seem to love it, some drivers hate it. Like I said, it seems to be quite a lot of tracks are polarizing. One calling it a airport, one loves the challenge, and Sacha really liking it thus far, it seems. We have drivers taunting our wonderful steward Sarah about going 10 wide into corner, into turn 1, as that's usually how it be. Some people are saying they should slingshot drivers ahead for our good old friend Mete. Speaking of Mete, you said you were racing. But regardless, let's 35 seconds, more or less, until we go racing. Did I say let's hope it's not gonna go well? I will blame the migraine. Let's hope it goes well, touch wood, odpukać. I te wszystkie inne polskie przysłowia. Trzymaj kciuki, odpukać, knock on wood. Sarah, if you have anything in Czech, type it fast, you have 10 seconds. But yeah, I blame the migraine. Hard pounding. P2 position, good luck 20. And away we go! As poor start from Tautford, as getting swamped. Excellent start from Mateusz Breitmeier, storming off into the distance. With drivers already going quite a few wide. Let us just quickly go. Think back. Everybody driver making it. Oh, we have a little bit of a contact. A small spin. Who is that? That might be Alexandra Giemble. As we go back up to normal cameras. Yep, here we go. All good normal cameras. I believe yes, it's Alexandra Giemble. Driver who had very good. Oh, that was very opportunistic from Sacha on the move there. Juan Gramash making his way past. So is Johan Karolczak. So far, so good from all the drivers. Side by side through the corner. There's not much space given. Johan barging his way through. He's said he is going to be way more aggressive on race 2 starts. Victor Bernard now picking his way past the reverse grid drivers. Now this is the race for Victor to really put behind all of the mistakes from race 1. It's a bit of a nudge from behind. Ooh, that almost looks sideways from Victor, and we see Tartvidas really trying to defend against Juan, as Johan Karolczak is just gonna try and drive around the outside. Ooh, it might get a bit blocked, might be a bit traffic jam here and there. Everyone makes it through safely so far, but Johan Karolczak not able to make his way past the Spaniard and the Lithuanian, as Victor Bernard in the meantime is dispatching Anno for the first podium place. As Quanti makes a move down the inside of Mateusz Breitmeier, side by side through turn 1, and they're gonna go side by side through turn 2. Oh, Mateusz Breitmeier backing out a little bit, hoping for a switchback. No can do, as Victor Bernard around the outside. Beautiful move by Victor Bernard to promote himself up to P2. Johan Karolczak had seemed to have a little bit of a poor start here. Danny Tsuya has managed to make his way past the French driver, as in the meantime it's Victor Bernard. The ball is in his court, as one would say. But now he has to contend with track limits. We have a spin, and that's Tartvidas with a spin. Recovers slightly. Was that with the help of some other driver, or perhaps no? But that promotes Johan Karolczak up a spot. He's not going to say no to another free spot. Now, for Johan to outscore Victor, he has to finish in at least P4. He's guaranteed to outscore Victor in the race. Especially if he can do it with the fastest lap. Quanti really good with the defensive driving, really forcing Victor to try and make his way, but no can do. Quanti just placing the car right in the right places. They are really playing defensive game, and they're gonna force Victor to go wide again. Will Quanti go deep on the brakes to prevent it? You know what? They will, and they will force Victor wide again. through turn 2. Can they keep the place? Oh, no, they can't. A little bit of a nudge from Victor. Unsettled the car. And Victor sailing their way by Quanti. Will Quanti be able to fight back as Johan improves his position to P6? I can feel a few lumps in my throat now. Now is the Uno reverse for Danny Tutu and Juan Gramash. Are they going to battle? And if so, how much would they slow each other? Ooh, a little bit of a blink there. Very wide for Danny Tutu there. How long will they battle? How long will they battle? And how much would they slow themselves down? And would that allow Victor to sail on by? Oh, sail on away, should I say. Up to P1. And Ike Marave now going, attempting round the outside of Quanti. Dab on the brace to switch down the inside. And again, tag themselves behind. Watch out, Ike, you know how long these cars are. You should know from your teammates' struggles and your own struggles of how long these cars actually are. But no can do on this straight, and unfortunately, Ike remains P3. But down the inside on turn 2, a opportunistic maneuver. Quanti left the door open, and it seems like we lose a driver. It is. Oh, we had Alexandra disconnect for one reason or another. Not sure why. But interesting track limits there, Ike. But Quanti now may. Oh, Quanti with a move down the inside on the turn. One of them. One of the last turns. Really, Ike seems to have really made a mistake of the corner. Allowed Quanti to sail on by. And allowed Juan, Danny, and Johan. Now Johan has to catch up. Oh, Ike with the track limits forced to lift off and let everybody by. That was a costly mistake for the Spaniard. Down to P6. Johan switches down to inside of Quanti, hits the apex, gets a good exit. Can he keep it? He can. Drives around the outside, gets an excellent exit, promotes himself up to P4, which is enough to outscore his championship rival, but he will definitely want to take even more points out of his championship leader. Ideally, he would like to be in the first place and force Victor to concede even more points. By a costly mistake for the Spaniard, Ike, because we have 3 of them. Oh, down inside. Will he attempt the move? No, it was a very opportunistic. Keeps it just inside, well, just outside of Danny's hitbox. Still 0.1 second behind. Through the S's, no bueno. These cars do have a little bit of dirty air that might throw the drivers out. Meanwhile, let's ride on board with Johan instead. As we see, ooh, which corner are we at? Oh, we're just exiting, we're just entering sector 3. Everyone nip and touch behind one another. Victor Bernard just plowing away. 6 seconds, 6.5 seconds. Johan has, ooh, a little bit of a track extension for Johan there. Victor just sailing on away with 6.5 seconds. I reckon this. Oh, that's a big lookup. A costly mistake for Johan. Allows Ike Marve on by and demotes himself up to P5. Down to P5. Can he fight the move back again? No, Ike Marve just drives away. Very costly mistake for the Frenchman. Not a mistake we usually see him make do. Or make. Or do. Johan keeps away slightly. Ike just braking a little bit. Too much compared to Johan's braking ability. And in all that while, Quanti is able to keep touch with the pack. So any of the drivers make mistake, and it's going to cost their position and on Quanti's behalf. Johan Karolczak. So close here, so far between all these drivers. Can Johan make the move around the outside? Ooh, he's got the exit, he's got the space. Got the speed, and again side by side, Johan pulls out. Thinks better. And we have another retiree in Sacha. Thank you for racing, Sacha. There's still 10 minutes left. Oh, what an excellent exit from Johan. He came out of makes a mistake, and we go. This is the awkward corner. The only good way to go by is with a switchback, but Ike blocks that very nicely. We can just see Cyanide Racing 1-2 comfortably outscoring Plus Ultra Team Automobilismo. And unless Victor makes a mistake, I don't think that Victor's lead is gonna go away. It looks like... Oh, we have a mistake from Juan Gramage. Juan Gramage spins out, gives the place to his teammate, and to Johan, and to Quanti, and to Ben, and to Anno. And we have a disconnect in form of Liam Carr. Liam, come back. If you finish the race, you're going to score some points. Unless he's going for a connection, then unless it's internet. Regardless, Johan, P4. Is Ike Marve? Lost my train of thought. Where are we? Yes, P battle for the final points, podium place between Ike Marve and Johan Karolczak. Danny Tatui is able to just drive away now. Now that Juan Gramage is out of points, and it looks like Juan Gramage has lost even more places. And Victor says the fastest lap time just to rub a little bit more salt into the wound. And Johan with the best chance he has at the moment of going by Ike Marve around the outside. Ike keeps the inside. Oh, nudges himself just enough to prevent Johan from taking any space. Look how much Johan hugs the inside compared to how much Ike opens up the corner for the chicane. Well, bus stop chicane. 8 minutes left. 8 minutes. It's not. Johan can still score a P2, and I think that might be the best he's hoping for. Down the inside he goes. Can he make the move sick? Ike holding it around the outside. Ike is still ahead. Will it go side by side? No way won't. Ike still keeps the place. Compromises himself on the next corner. Look how much speed Johan has gathered. And he's gonna nudge his nose down the inside. Good positioning. Oh, and we have a little bit of a wiggle from the Spaniard. He's forced to take evasive action. There's a little bit of a line of where the driver should rejoin. This Frenchman now under pressure from Quanti. But Ike Marve lost quite a lot of time from that little mistake. Very much costly. I did say if any driver makes a mistake, they will lose another place to Quanti. Quanti able to keep in touch on course for very good finishing position if they can remain where they are. But Johan Karolczak now has a monumental task of chasing down Danny Tatui. A task I'm sure he's capable of doing. It's not a matter of can he, it's a matter of does he have enough time. So we will be watching the lap times very closely. 6.5 minutes left. That leaves you about 4 laps remaining. And with 4 laps, you really have to notch that down by 0.8 of a second. It's a monumental task, even for a driver like Johan. Considering his opponent ahead of him is no slouch either. Now Johan might be attempting a fastest lap attempt now to steal that point that Victor now possesses. Remember, every point counts within the championship. And it's a numbers game at the end of the day, right? So you want to risk more for a chance of gaining more. Thank you, Carrots. Thank you, Sacha, for the follow. And yeah, do you want to risk more to gain more? Yes, you could gain a lot. You could also lose a heck a lot more. If Johan wants to go for P2, he risks losing P3 and tumbling down the order, putting himself outside of the excellent position that he was put in thanks to the mistake of Victor Bernard in race 1. It's really a numbers game. Racing is really a numbers game. Especially in the championship, why not? A race itself is not. But if you're in a championship, you really got to play the numbers and weigh the risk and reward factor. As we see a battle between Ike Marava and Quanti. What? Oh, a little bit of a touch, forcing Ike Marava a little bit off the line. Maybe, just maybe, very ungentlemanly ungentlemanly way to go by. No touch, Ike lost the rear. Oh, good then. Another, ooh, a bit of a lockup. Ike is making a right mess of the driving with us far. As we see battle for P6 between Arno and Ben Rushworth. Ben Rushworth again, very good finishing position. Yes, we have lost quite a lot of drivers today, but needless to say, still a good showing. Now Johan has closed the gap by 2/10 on the final lap. That is just not enough of a closure between the drivers. Johan is driving on a personal best lap time with a 0.9 second. So are all of the drivers so far. And let's see, what do the lap times say? Last lap, half a second faster, 1.2 seconds faster than the leader. So Johan, 3 laps remain. Now is 3 laps remaining. 1.9 seconds away. Will that change? I'm too busy looking at other screens. I need another member to tell me what the numbers are. Ike Marva 0.3 behind Quanti. Now Ike, composure. Clear your mind. Relax. And go for a move on the opportunistic. Ooh, very wide from Ike. Ooh, and a spin for Ike. Just as soon as I say calm, composure, clear of mind, Ike just loses the rear, self-inflicted mess, stays out of the way of the faster drivers as he recovers, and is joined by his dear old friend Juan, his teammate. Johan still chasing down Danny Tutui, 2 seconds. He can see 2 seconds, 2.5 minutes left. Is it worth it? 1.7 seconds. Johan really chasing the fastest lap points, but let's not forget, to do the fastest lap, you really have to drive in quali-like fashion, because, well, the track limits just don't permit you to race at an ultimate pace and go faster. So let's see. Ooh, Johan Karocha, 34.4. Invalidated lap, but 1.6 seconds. And we saw there was a mistake from Victor Bernard. Victor Bernard's made a mistake somewhere and is now only 2.6 seconds in front of Johan Karocha. Johan Karocha can smell blood now. 1 second down to less than a second between himself and Danny Tutui. 2.3 seconds behind Victor Bernard. There's still at least 2 more laps remain. Yes, 2 more laps remain. This will be, well, 2 more laps, excluding this one. So, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Victor Bernard just seemed to have lost all confidence. Was that due Was that due to... Yes, 2 more laps included. So, was this due to a lapping car? I am not too certain. I don't think so. But Danny Tutui now 0.3 behind Victor Bernard. Johan Karolczak 1.4 seconds behind Victor Bernard. If Johan did not smell blood, he's smelling it now. This is the penultimate lap. There is one more lap, and no team orders. It seems Danny Tutui wants the win as much as his teammate does. Will this decide the championship? Johan Karolczak, half a second, going very wide, behind Victor Bernard. Danny Tutui is now in front of Victor Bernard. Victor must have a massive issue. Victor Bernard just losing speed on the straight. Something big must have happened to Victor Bernard. Look at Victor, already 1.1 seconds behind. Johan is very happy. He's finished ahead of his championship rival in 2 races. But will he go for the extra position for P1? That's 4 extra points he could gain from this race. We have excitement on the last race. Let's disregard everything that's going behind. We do have a close battle for P6 between Anno, Juan and Marve. I need a second screen where I can just display it for you people. Low fuel. Oh, did Victor underfuel his car? This could really cost him. Quanti is on a fast charging pace to catch Victor Bernard. Will Victor have enough fuel to run out? This could really throw the championship into disarray. Underfueling the car. That will be certainly a tail to hold. But will Victor keep the final points playing position, or will Quanti get their maiden podium? We are entering the penultimate sector of corners, with Johan Karolczak might have to satisfy himself with P2 and know that his rival is low on fuel, and looks like Victor just barely is gonna be able to keep P3. Just on the line. This does echo back a little bit to Lewis's Hamilton victory on last tyre. A little bit different on low fuel. Quanti just outside, 1.7 seconds behind the maiden podium. Ben R finishes P5, Juan P6, Ike P7, Arnold P8, Xander Scharf P9, Tautfitas scores more points with P10, Breitmeyer P11, and Liam Carr is going to come home to score his first points. Wow, what a turn of the event right on the last minute. Wow, what a finish we had. It's unbelievable. Half a second between Johan and his scoring another full sweep. Something that he has done, almost done a full sweep at, let me check notes, round 4? Something like that. Go ahead, Matt. Important info. At Istanbul Park. Something that he did at Istanbul Park. And, no, unfortunately, I do not watch Conti's Donuts. But, wow. P4, well done, Quanti, for a good visit. Well done, Danny, for the second victory of the season. An amazing, well, I say amazing. Amazing resourcefulness shown by Victor Bernard on the very final lap. Even with the... for being able to finish with so much little fuel. But again, what a finish have we had. Let me compose myself a little bit. Wow. Opportunistic. I think we're gonna have quite an interesting interviews today. But what a race have we had? Danny Tutui takes home second victory of the season to bring himself quite clear and ahead of Ike Marave. And Well, we have quite a lot of immediately. We had some excellent drives from Zandershaft to score the best finish um, from drivers such as Sacha. A good drive, regardless, in the first race. Um, Johan Karolczak closing the gap to his championship rival by quite a few points. And let's bring in Quanti with your with your best finishing position of the season. Thank you, Arno, for
Yeah,
the raid.
yeah, I'm really happy after that one. That was best race I've had since Silverstone. Easy. Um, it is better than that. I'm so happy with how this went. It went better than I expected. Um, kind of a deconstruction. Qualifying did not go the way it did, but it gave me a unique opportunity, and it was basically it put me in the back. So around 10 minutes ago in the first race, I knew what I needed to do. So I intentionally backed off and tried to hover around P10, 11th, P12. I was in P12 for a bit, but it got super chaotic in the back. So, I pulled away, was able to secure P11th, started me on P2, and well, I mean, that's how the second race happened. I'm surprised I didn't make any big mistakes. Obviously, I, slid a few times, locked up the brakes every now and then, but I think I did a really good job holding on to the car, holding my own against the other drivers. Like, these guys are the fastest people that I have seen in sim racing. Like, probably not the fastest, but the fastest I've seen. So being out there, being able to hold my own against them, being able to be side by side with them, it's an honor in itself. And to be able to get a good position like this, regardless of circumstances, even better. Exactly. Someone tell Ike I'm sorry because for like half the race, I was literally just annoying them, and that was like the only way I could stay in touch with the top four. Like all I did was just annoy Ike for like 10 minutes straight. I'd imagine it would be exhausting for them.
Yeah, indeed. I just was muted, but I think the question was pretty similar. Of Quanti was able to stay in touch. Regardless, Mandalika, how did you find the circuit? It seems to be quite polarizing in the chat.
Personally, love, hate, obviously, but I'm gonna go with love a bit more. I just love the way it flows, and if you just hit those corners just right, it is so satisfying to get a lap around here right. I wasn't able to set a good lap in qualifying, but I'm really happy with how it turned out in the end, so no complaints from me. And it's good points, so I think that puts me, further up, maybe P8 even. I don't know.
Yep. All right. Well, final question from me is: we heard about Mandalika. Albert Park is next.
Oh, I am so excited for Albert Park. I've spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours on it in F121. Know the circuit like the back of my hand. I'm really excited for it because I one love the circuit, and two, I feel like if I can just get a setup down and devote myself to practice, I can really learn the car there instead of learning the track. So that's going to be really helpful for the last few rounds. And overall, I think I can just put in a good performance like I did today there.
Indeed. So we should. Well, it's going to be the second longest track. Well, I think second longest or the longest track on our calendar, being an FIA Grade 1. I think alongside Silverstone and Istanbul Park.
Well, I mean, Istanbul went really well pace wise for me. So, I mean, I'm excited about that. It seems like longer, more complex tracks seems to be where I can really thrive.
Indeed, more room for mistake and consistency is where it shines. Um, Moving on, Quanti, any final things you would like to say?
Um, well, thanks, Liam. You are incredible as a friend. I've really appreciated, getting to practice with you. Last few, yeah, last few weeks. Other than that, hello, goodbye. Yeah, you, yeah,
Thank you, Quanti. And so for next, let's bring on race one
Uh,
winner,
oh,
P2 in race two, pole position
hello.
sitter, Johan Karolczak. You must be pretty happy with the results today.
Uh, maybe not as much as you think. Um,
You would have loved that P1 in race two.
yeah, I will have loved it, but I think there was too much traffic. I want to call them traffic, but I think I had a higher pace than the cars I was battling, and but not that much better in order to facilitate an overtake there. So, so had some small mistakes and some random coefficient of some stuff happening, and you get that result where I finally get P3, oh yeah, P3 for the last quarter of the race, and then train to. I think Victor had some foolishes.
From what we could assume is
Yeah,
a few issues for Victor, which seems to have
yeah,
really played into your hand, especially in that race. Too.
yeah.
I did say earlier on the stream it would take a miracle for the others to catch up Victor, and lo and behold, a miracle has happened.
Yeah.
Or curse.
I'm still a bit worried of track limits violations
That's going to be very
because
interesting for
I think
everyone
there's
to
going to be
review.
some because you'd expect, given how the curbs are physically, you'd expect to feel when you are off them, but they, the transition isn't that hard. So sometimes you think you're perfectly fine on it. It still vibrates because you know the astroturf still vibrates, and then you can feel the bump when your inside wheel gets back on the curb, and you're telling yourself now, oh man, just another cut. I tried to lift and do some braking slides, you know, it's like micro braking, but yeah, we'll see. It's up to you, but I think most of us
Yeah, I definitely saw.
will be very close to the four loud and even more, I think. But
Yeah,
let's see.
definitely I
It
did.
is a good preference.
Yeah, with the good performance, definitely. Well, yeah, we did. So you, especially in the last corner, extending it quite a few times. And Victor fell victim to a few track limit violations from what we saw. Um,
Yeah, I
regard.
had a few, I think, last corner, indeed. I think over both races, I don't remember which one or which one, but I think most of them were just pure. Sometimes I had to catch some slides, but most of them were just brain farts, to be fair.
We had Victor
Because
in.
sometimes I went wide on the last corner when there was no gain from it. So yeah,
Indeed, where we had Victor in the chat repeating,
yeah.
"I am stupid."
Yeah.
It,
He even has the red nickname. Uh, that reminds us of
indeed.
the one that said that sentence in real life.
Well, uh, well, like I said, luck is a pendulum, and it seemed like it finally swung back uh, to
Yeah,
your
that's race.
like this race, because you were held up quite a bit by the battle between yourself, Juan, Ike, and Danny, and Quanti was there as well.
Yeah, I think I called. I don't remember which one it is. If it was Ike of one. I think after 5 minutes, he was fighting. I don't remember the guys they were fighting. Tatsu. I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Nah, no worries,
I
but
don't want to mispronounce any name, even on stream. So he was fighting with someone, and I tried to move, but I had to stomp on the brakes, and then Danny went by, and we stayed close until the end with some plus ultra automobilist. I don't remember the team names, but he kind of won being in the mix as well.
yeah,
I think they both suffered maybe some spins or mistakes or something like this. I don't
yeah,
remember a lot, but
and then everyone in front of you basically spanned out on their own accord. But saying that, how did you enjoy Mandalika, and how much are you looking forward to the next round at Albert Park?
I have more good things to say about the track than bad things. And the main thing I wonder about this track is that they have great elevation all around the track, but they still produce a very flat track. So, uh, what what what's that about? I don't understand it. But
Indonesian magic.
the track I quite like it. I think it's the right size, length, and uh, challenge for that car. Uh, it's great to have that full speed, full throttle section. That is really at the limit of the car. What the car can do at high speed cornering. Good corners. And really some strategic lines to take in the second sector. I quite like that track. I think even if I wasn't that at ease on this track, I would have loved it anyway.
Well,
I mean,
uh,
loved it, it's a bit too much, but I'm definitely liking it. Let's put it at a 7 out of 10.
some people seem to have said it was their favorite track of the season thus far, and well, I wonder if that will be topped by the next track, which is the Albert Park.
I don't know, never drove Albert Park.
Really?
Albert Park, where is that the Melbourne? Not Melbourne. Yeah, is that
Melbourne, yeah.
I never drove it in AC.
I'm honestly very much surprised.
Is that the revised current layout or
I
the
believe
legacy one?
I believe it will be the revised one,
Oh, it's the faster one.
a faster one, yes.
Okay. I think it's going to be a slipstream war again.
And there will be some very good overtaking opportunities there.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the mid-lap chicane, fast chicane, will kill some moves. I think because without it, you will have a lot of moves at the braking after that fast section. Then I think it's going to maybe we have we have more dirtier than we think on these cars. I think maybe you saw that on stream, but
Yeah,
there's
and I remember
some
you guys.
dirtier. I think it's going to be maybe not as overtake fest like that we think, but it's not going to be bad.
Indeed. Well, thank you again, Johan, for racing with us, and congratulations on your race win and P2. A very good showing indeed.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Indeed. And we will bring down the second, if I can, second race winner, Danny Tutui, who had quite the strong weekend.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Danny. How was it out there for you today? Very again, first, well done on your victory. Your second victory in Ledpo Racing. One was taken away, but the second one was awarded to you before, so that balances out. So two wins in Ledpo Racing Pragas.
Quite crazy to think. At Silverstone in the first round, I was hoping to at least get a podium this season. Now, of course, I should have had 3 wins. I only got 2 wins. But it's quite crazy to see how much I closed the gap to the guys in front. Today was quite special. It was one of the rare occasions where my race pace was actually quite better than qualifying. Usually I tend to be quite good in qualifying, then ruin it somehow during the race. But yeah, I'm surprised with myself, to be honest. I didn't expect to be so fast today.
Indeed, you have really capitalized on the mistake that was done by your teammate Victor, and I believe that was due to the misfueling.
Yeah, he didn't have the best of weekends today. He spun in the first race just in front of me, then he miscalculated the fuel in the second race. I almost ran out of fuel as well. I was like 0.4 on the line or something like that.
Oof, you were really cutting it close.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same in both races, I believe, but for some reason I forgot to add more fuel in the second race, but fortunately nothing bad happened.
Yeah, very much fortunately. But regardless, it's still a good points haul for Cyanide Racing compared to your team's championship rival, Plus Ultra Team Obamizu, who seems to have completely folded in the second race.
Yeah, well, we're quite comfortable at the top. Unless we start to bottle every single race from now on, we should easily win the constructors, I believe so.
Indeed. Well, versus older drivers. Seems to be quite a polarizing opinion depending on where the drivers have finished. How did you find Mandalika circuit?
Not great for qualifying, but a little bit better for the race. I feel like it's quite a flat track, not much elevation change. There are braking marks on the side of the track, but I think someone said in the voice chat as well, not sure who it was, that some of the corners do not really have anything to look at to brake. I forgot the English word, I'm sorry for that.
Brake markers?
But in races it was quite fine. Track limits were a little bit glitched, but you can't really do anything about that.
No, it's very much unfortunate that we couldn't. But it's just gonna mean we're gonna have a longer night ahead of us. That's about it.
Hopefully I won't get any penalties. I'm pretty sure I was within the within the white lines and within the curbs the entire race.
We will see. Johan said that he is hoping not for any penalties as he might be on the limit, and I have a feeling quite a lot of drivers will be on the limit for track limits. Because he mentioned it was quite difficult to know when you're off the curb and when you're not on the curb.
Yeah, and unfortunately I didn't know that. He explained it in voice chat as well that when you're on the curb, you feel like you're on the curb, but then if you go right a little bit, you suddenly realize that you were off the curb because you feel the bump. I did not realize that during the race, so hopefully I don't have like 50 warnings from a single corner.
We will definitely see. And my final question for you, Danny, is Albert Park. Are you looking forward to it?
Is it the old layout or the new
I
layout?
believe we might be doing the new layout, mod restricted.
Yeah, that one should be great. Yeah, I really enjoy the track, especially with the Formula 1 cars. I haven't driven them in the Pragas, but yeah, I believe it's going to be a fun race, so definitely looking forward to it.
Fantastic to hear that. And I guess your typical promo for tomorrow, right?
Yes, the Cyanide Super Formula Challenge tomorrow at 18 UTC, so it should be at around the same time as the Pragas. No, sorry, 17 UTC. So stupid. I don't even know my own schedule. Uh, so Sundays at 17 UTC with the Super Formulas. Round 2 at Kota. Definitely looking forward to it. We have solved our attendance issue finally. People are finally interested in the championship, and I'm actually quite excited to see how the race will be.
Exciting how the race will be until it counts for a stewarding.
Yeah, should definitely be an exciting race. I think the first race at Bahrain was quite good. I mean, if you ignore the issues in race 2, but yeah, nothing we could have really done about it. And this time we should have a live stream as well. I mean, we did have a live stream in round 1, but unfortunately we didn't save the VODs, so...
Yeah, I believe the settings should be changed now that you do.
Yeah, we should double check it tomorrow as well, just to make sure.
Yeah, just to make sure. Oh, good. Well, again, thank you again for racing, Danny. Well done on your victory, and
thank you as well.
See you next time. And now, we go in order. Whoever first come first served. We have Xander, Xander Scharf, with a wonderful P5, P6, regardless, best finishing position of the season for you.
Yeah, P6. It was great.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I know for race 1, well, my qualifying was fantastic. Like, I just was way closer to pole than I thought I was gonna be. Because before qualifying, I think in qualifying I went like 3/10 faster.
Yeah, definitely. Your qualifying was impeccable, especially on a much shorter track. You were much closer, so that was a well done. But you did prove in the race it was not a fluke. You managed to hold your own and keep your position in the race.
Yeah, I think in the beginning, at the starts, I'm definitely not as confident as some of the other drivers here, so I did lose a few positions. But just being consistent and not having any incidents, I managed to get it back to like P6.
Fantastic. Well, definitely a redemption considering the luck that you had in the previous rounds.
Yeah, wasn't that great. I think I got hit in both races.
No, indeed. But still, much improvement today, and wonder if you can take it towards Albert Park in the next round.
I would hope so. I like the track. It's a fun track, so we'll see what happens.
Indeed.
It's also a short track, so if we have a lot of people, I wonder how that's gonna go.
I wouldn't say short track. That's going to be a 2-minute lap time.
Is it a 2-minute lap time?
It
Okay,
is,
I don't know enough then.
Albert Park is deceptively long.
Yeah, okay, that makes. I thought it was shorter, but I guess not.
It's just the speed of it makes it seem shorter.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, on the topic of tracks, Mandalika, did you enjoy the track?
I mean, I really like driving the flowy corner, so this was like a perfect track for me. But I know it seems like a lot of people didn't like it as much.
I think it depends on where you were with the in the finishing race, I suppose.
Yeah, okay.
May have something to do with it. Really depends on the driver, but some drivers have said it was their favorite track of the season.
Yeah, it was definitely my favorite track of the season.
I believe it was you then that said it. So far, anyway.
I know I said it earlier on in the week in practice, but I think a few others joined me in that. Like, I think John joined me in saying that.
But yeah, regardless, we have next round in Albert Park, so definitely interesting what you can do in there. How was racing today?
I think there was definitely some great overtaking zones, like the last few corners, and then the almost hairpin after the so-called flat chicane.
Or in the penultimate corner.
Yeah, the penultimate corner was great overtaking zone, especially because a lot of people just locked up through there. So you could, if you got on the inside, you could get a good run.
I did saw quite a lot of overtakes there. I did not think that would be an overtaking zone, considering how awkward breaking into that corner is.
Yeah, because like at least in my experience in the race, if someone locked up a little bit and you could get on the inside, even if you're side by side did the last corner, you have the inside line on the first corner, so you can make the overtake stick.
Yeah, indeed. It definitely gave us some interesting moments and races.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything you would like to say for the stream?
No, I mean, finally another good race for me. Didn't get hit at all, and I guess I stayed more consistent than the last few races. So hopefully I can keep racking up the points. Get more for the team.
Yeah, let's hope your luck today with the avoiding incidents will carry on in Albert Park. And well done on your finishing position, and well done on your performance today. And definitely looking forward to see what you can do in Albert Park.
Yeah, thanks. I'm excited for it.
Take care of yourself, and let's bring back Anno, cutting your stream short. A good showing today. It seems like you have had quite the connection with this track, minus a few self-inflicted moments.
Yeah, some self-inflicted, some less so. But yeah, I set my goal as a double top 10, and I got that, so I don't really have too much reason to complain.
No, indeed. Like I mentioned, it seems like you have really vibed with the track. How was it for you?
Yeah, I enjoy this track a lot. Actually, like I kind of wish it wasn't so flat, but I like the layout quite a lot.
Yeah, we have noticed quite a lot of drivers say the flatness of it. Johan said that the track has some elevation, but it still feels flat even with some of those elevations.
It's also about, there aren't just, just not many reference points around the track. The visibility is too great because of that. Kind of hard to, like in practice, I would sometimes straight up forget where I am on the track. Thankfully, it did not happen in the race, but in practice, was a bit of an issue.
Indeed. So we did have quite a lot of drivers say that the reference for some corners is a bit laster. I think it's like similar with one corner in Kailami for me in the final sector. That big hairpin, I cannot find a brake marker for it.
Yeah. Well, this track, funnily enough, despite the lack of reference points for where you are on the track, it's actually quite good for breaking point references because, well, it's clear that either the actual track designers or the mod creators, I don't know which ones did that, but they put braking markers on every turn that needs them, and also painted the lines going out from the side of the track. That was very helpful in actually remembering the braking points, and I did end up missing them at least once in the race, but that was pure skill issue.
Indeed. So, on terms of like the track, how was it racing in the mid pack today?
It was fun. I enjoyed racing against Ben the second race. It was mm, would have preferred to end up ahead of him, obviously, but that was some really good racing there.
It's your long time rivalry with Ben.
Yeah, wouldn't say rivalry. Is what happens is that I do a couple hundred laps of practice. Yeah, then he shows up with zero practice, and either by the middle of a race or by the second race in this case, he's already on my pace.
Yeah, that's always frustrating when you put in so many laps, but you gotta deal with the cars that dealt to you. And speaking of Ben, you did have a little bit. Ben did have a little bit of a moment that you have helped with in the last lap of race one.
Yeah, so yeah, that was a bit annoying, but I'm not too upset about that. I didn't lose too much of that, and also the way it happened was kind of funny. My foot literally slipped on the brake.
Oh
And,
dear.
so yeah,
Need slip your shoes. But anyway, my final question
Yep.
for you is: next race at Albert Park. Are you looking forward to it?
I mean, I've not raced it before, so we'll see how it goes.
It seems to be
Yeah,
like
I'm really not.
every single
yeah.
track we've driven
yeah,
so
no,
far.
Yeah, pretty much. It's most of these tracks I've never touched, so the only upcoming one that I have touched is Mosport.
Well, definitely be interested to see how you do then. But hopefully through this series you have found some new tracks that you enjoyed.
Yeah, Mandalika certainly, and yeah, that's actually honestly I enjoy most tracks. Yeah.
For me, if I drive them, I'll have to accept Nordschleife.
Hmm.
I refuse to drive Nordschleife or Daytona. I hate Daytona Roval.
Daytona is not great, but no, Nordschleife is great. I love Nordschleife.
And
It's so stupid. I
I've
love
just annoyed every single American with the Daytona combat. But regardless, thank you, Anna, for
it.
for
You're right
joining
about
us.
Daytona. You're just correct.
Yeah, that's usually the case. Anyway, thank you again, Anna, for joining us, and good luck in the next race.
Yep. Thank you, and see you next week then.
And indeed, let's bring of our what I call the overtaker of the season. Starts way down the field, somehow manages to end himself up near the top 5. Ben, how was it out there for you?
In terms of race pace, just general pace on the track, it wasn't going too well for me.
Just
quality and race 1 was more just practice for me, so I didn't get any before the race.
For somebody who was just practicing, you managed to put yourself up, qualified 14th race 1, and you managed to end up in P8. After the first couple of corners. It seems like you have a knack for A, avoiding incidents on opening laps, and B, is just making making up so many spots in the start of the race.
Yeah. Thankfully, I feel it mostly down to just being really aware of my surroundings, which I think is what helps me overtake quite a fair bit. Knowing, just having a good idea what everyone's doing around me really helps to keep you out of trouble.
Yeah,
Also, having someone ahead of you in VC saying someone's crashed is very helpful.
yeah. So I guess you're running with a spotter or something like that. But it's so good. But like you were running very well in race 1 until that last penultimate corner, race 1, just had a half spin that just destroyed your chances for a good reverse grid position.
Yeah. Race 1, I was just learning. I didn't even have the proper setup for race 1. I ended up creating one for race 2. And the main thing was my ARB was just not right for the track, which seemed to have overheated the rear left, which is why I ended up spinning partly that and just not braking very well. I was way too aggressive with the air brakes, which I thankfully sorted for the second race. But yeah, I was very annoyed about that.
Indeed, every single time with your results, you seem to just manage to fly under the radar, and under the radar, finishing P5 in race 2. And it's usually the inverse for you. Usually, race 1 is much better for you than race 2.
Yeah, I think that's because this time race 1 was really a practice session for me. It just went wrong at the end.
Fair enough. Well, with that aside, how would you rate Mandalika Circuit?
Needs more elevation change. There's not enough distinct features about it. Made it really hard for me to learn. In terms of actually racing, it was quite fun. Quali was more annoying than anything. But I think that's more because of the lack of features of the track than the track layout itself.
Yeah, it's something that many drivers have brought up is the lack of brake markers and how flat it is.
Yeah, it really messes with me because I try to go through certain corners thinking they were a different corner because they all look the same on entry. I can't really cope with that too well when I'm trying to learn. So I think that's what really screwed me.
Indeed. Well, we'll be moving next week into a track with a few more brake markers. Another street track, Melbourne, Albert Park.
Melbourne, I haven't driven that much outside the F1 games in Melbourne.
Well, so you should have some familiarity with the track. From what you've driven, how would you rate it?
Honestly, I haven't driven it since F1 2018.
Fair enough.
So
we might be
I
driving
have no idea.
We might be driving the most up-to-date track. Well, it will be very interesting to see reactions and the racing on that track. Hopefully, we'll have a full F1 grid at the very least with 20 drivers once again.
Yeah, hopefully. See how it goes.
Indeed. Well, thank you, Ben, for thank you, Ben, for racing. Well done on the results in especially in race 2.
Yes, thank you.
Hope you have a good luck in the next race.
Yes, thank you.
Take care of yourself, and I shall bring in Liam. Let's see if Liam is here this time paying attention. Hello, Liam. Secured your first points in the series. How was Mandalika treating you today?
I don't like that track.
Fair enough. It's a little bit polarizing for the drivers. Some love it, some hate it.
Yeah. First race, I got flashbacks to my race in Istanbul, and I just could not continue.
Fair enough. So, what are your main gripes with the circuit?
The very last hairpin always got me. I could not figure out how to approach it, how to break into it, turn in. I couldn't figure out any of it.
It's definitely a very tricky corner. You are halfway on the brakes, turning a car, and you have to balance the car on the brakes. In that kind of corners, you really use the brake to turn the car rather than the steering wheel. It's a tricky technique to learn.
Yeah.
But your only bet is to pick a point and hope to God that you picked a straight line, not outside the track when braking. But apart from that, how was the driving out there?
Well, I will say it was a very fun race for the times I got to race with the pack. It was fast, and the braking zones were interesting to say the least.
Indeed, this track seemed to have offered quite a few overtaking opportunities. Next track should offer a bit more of the same. We will be driving in Albert Park.
All right, I've never raced there before, so this will be interesting.
Are you familiar with the Melbourne F1 track?
No, I am not.
Really? Well, I'm sure it will. It's a track usually has positive opinions from a lot of people, so I have a feeling that you might enjoy it. It's a very fast flowing in nature, and one of the longest tracks on our calendar.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, we will most likely have this practice server up tomorrow. Is there anything else, Liam, that you would like to say to the audience?
I would like to say thank you to Quanti for giving me some quick tips on some of the turns and really helping my line improve. And yeah, that's about it. It was great. It feels good to finally get some points.
Indeed. Well, thank you, Liam, for joining us, and well done on your first points in the series.
Thank you.
And moving on to our last interviewee of the season. What a race one did you have? Excellent qualifying position, excellent race one finish. Race two a little bit less, did not go as you'd hope, but good, strong race one.
Yeah, I think that's no, not I think it's actually my best qualifying. Um, race finishes, it is also my best race finish. Like the first race was really good. Um, Definitely a lot of improvement. That's like um uh, I don't know how to say it, but like it is good. It will be good to see how is it evolving in the future. Maybe not this season, but next one. But actually, yeah, pretty proud. Second race was a bit messy at the beginning, but something was off with the car, so I rather retired because yeah, the something was definitely off. So yeah.
Indeed. Well, you could have always came back later and maybe fought for that final point that Liam have taken today.
Yeah, but I actually forgot about it.
Oh, dear.
So well, it is what it is. But
It
at
is.
least I got seven.
It is what it is, but always stay around because you don't know what's gonna happen ahead of you.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But like I said, I quite like the track. I heard some people saying I'm weird because I'm liking that track, but basically I like every weird track, so that's fine. But
Yeah,
like
I was gonna ask how you'd like the track. We have, to be fair, we have more positive than negative opinions, or just slightly skewed more towards positive. Some people said it was their favorite track of the season thus far.
so it's my favorite track of the season so far. But like I'm looking forward to Sonoma because like I think Sonoma was actually a track I quite liked on the old Gran Turismo games. So we'll see how is it driving the Praga. It's a bit bumpy though, so like we'll see because I might not be here for the park in Mosport because of a Daytona 500.
Indeed, I'm looking forward to Sonoma mainly due to Gran Turismo 4. It does bring back nostalgia
The
for
memories.
myself. Indeed, the memories. But looking more close term, Albert Park is up next.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see there actually. Formula One track, so I think it will fit the car pretty well. Um, but we'll see. Definitely, there will be some interesting racing there. We just hope that the old Diab Garage crew will be here, but I'm not sure with that. Um, Actually, if you we only need now with our newcomer, we only need two more drivers, and we'll have the whole Pirelli set from 2018.
Oh, only two more drivers.
Only two more.
Well, so close to that drive. Well, uh, thank you for joining us today. Do you have anything that you would like to add to the stream?
Mm, be sure to be there next race, and thank you for having me.
Definitely. Again, well done on your personal best qualifying and finishing position. We hope we can see more of that from you in Albert Park.
Yeah, I hope so.
Take care of yourself, and it will be time for me to round up the stream. What a race have we had, and a race that will throw the phone that had a lot of excitement, especially for myself. It seems to have made me forgotten I have a headache or migraine or whatever the heck it is when you have pains behind your eye. Regardless, it had offered some excellent drama, excellent action, excellent racing. Knock on wood, we've made it through race lap ones pretty nicely, and hope we can carry that on in Albert Park. But the championship for next round, I think, are gonna look quite different than what they look now, and it hopefully will set up an excellent finish to the championship in the last 3 rounds. Only 3 rounds remain. We've already gone 7. Where has the time gone? But regardless, I've been your host, Mateusz, captain. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Some royalty-free music, and I hope you will come watch us at Albert Park. Now, enjoy yourselves.